In part 1, we got our player and goal shapes moving, and we started thinking about adding the little dart that the player shoots. Here's the code where we left it. We know that the dart will be a little circle. Because the player shoots the dart starts where the player is at the time of shooting. That is, the dart's X and Y values start with the X and Y values of the player character when you shoot the dart. So let's imagine we have some global variables called dx and dy, and they will start where the player character is. So let's go ahead and define those. And we can give them default values. It won't care because we're not going to be drawing anything until Deactive becomes true. And then inside of Dart, we'll just draw, tell you what, we'll keep the bright red garish color, but I'll draw an ellipse. And I'll draw it at dx, dy, and tell you what, we'll create a radius for the dart. So I'll go up and I'll create a dart radius, say 20 units, and let's go ahead and run this and see how this works. So we got our things moving. I hit the space bar, bam, and we create a dart where the player is when I hit the space bar. I'll hit the space bar again, and again, and again. So this is the starting point of the dart. Great, that seems to be working just fine. So now let's move the dart to the right on every frame. So let's go down to draw a D, and I'll tell you what, just for fun, let's create a dart color, because we're going to want that eventually. And let's type it in, and I've picked a nice color that I like. So let's run that and make sure we have no errors. There it is. It's still kind of a red, but it's not as garish. Now I'm going to be moving the dart to the right on every frame. I've been calling my up and down motion PMY and GMY for player move Y, goal move Y. So let's invent a dart move X because the dart is moving to the right. And I don't know, we'll pick 3.5. We'll see if that's too fast or too slow. That's how much the dart will move in X on every frame. And so let's go ahead and set that up. So I'm now drawing the ellipse at dx, dy. So on every frame, I will say dx plus equals dmx. So let's run that and see how that works. I'm going to hit the space bar now, and off goes the little dart, and it falls off the right-hand side. And what we're trying to do, I'm not getting it. What we're trying to do is to shoot the dart. Yeah, that would be a goal, such that, no, it looks like I just missed it. So that's the challenge of the game. There, that would have been a goal. We want to fire the little red dart so that it ends up being inside that moving green box. And you can see I've got some work to do to become good at this game, but fine. So let's finish up the game. What we need to do is to create a score and maintain the score, and then we need to test if the dart is ever inside the green box. So let's do those things. I'll go up to the top and I'll create a global variable called score. Whoops. And I'll start it to be 0. And let's see, suppose you get it in the goal. Let's say you get 100 points for firing the ball and getting it in the goal. And let's say if you miss the goal, that's minus 50 points. So you get 100 points for getting it in the square, and you get minus 50 if it falls off the right-hand side. So let's figure out how we're going to check the score. Tell you what, we're going to draw the player, draw the goal, draw the dart, and then finally check the score. Check score will be responsible for testing if the dart is in the green box or if it's fallen off the right-hand side. If either of those things are true, we add the right value to the score, and then we set dart active to false, because either we scored the goal or it fell off the screen. Either way, there's no dart being drawn. So let's go ahead and write check score and see how to pull that off. Tell you what, I'm going to put it just before key typed. And let's write check score. And I just like to put key typed and those things at the very bottom because they're system routines, but you can put these things anywhere you want. Tell you what, first thing is we'll check, we'll see, are we in the goal? So we'll check for that. And then we'll say, are we off screen? Have we fallen off the right-hand side of the screen? So let's test for those. So that's going to be if something, then we'll do something. Else, tell you what, if something. So let's go ahead and put these comments Tell you what, I'll put the comments inside the clauses so that rather than asking the question, what we'll actually state it. So if that test fails, we are in the goal. Or if that test succeeds, we are in the goal. If this test succeeds, we are off screen. And otherwise, neither test was true. So we're just moving on the screen. So how do we test to see if we're in the goal? All we need to do is to check dx and dy against the four sides of the box. So I'll tell you what, first we'll see if dx, the x position of the center of the dart, we'll see is it to the right of the left-hand side of the goal? And is it to the left of the right-hand side of the goal, which is the goal x position, or the left plus its width? And is the y position of the dart greater than or equal to the top of the goal? And is the y position of the dart less than or equal to the y position plus the height? If all those things are true, then we are in the goal. And tell you what, I'm just going to say we're going to print goal rather than doing anything. Now to check if we're off screen, what goes into that if statement? We want to see if the left-hand side of the disk is off screen. So if we say if dx minus dr is greater than width, then we're off screen. So we'll print that out. Print line off screen. And if we have either a goal or an off screen, then we know that the disk is done. So if either of those two things are true, deactive becomes false. Let's move that comment so it's at the start of the if test there. And otherwise, everything is okay. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to open up the area at the bottom so we can see what gets printed out. And let's see what happens. I'm going to run this, and I'm going to hit the space bar now. It went off the right-hand side of the screen, and we keep getting off screen typed over and over and over and over again because check score is running even when deactive is not true. So I'll tell you what, just to save a little bit of running time, it's no problem, but we'll say if bang deactive, in other words, there is no active dart, we won't even bother checking the score. So let's see what goes on. I'm going to fire the dart now, and I missed, and it says off screen. So let's see if I can get a goal. Oh, I just missed. There it is, goal, goal. So we know we're in the goal zone. So now I'm detecting when I go off screen, and we're detecting when I get a goal. Well, one thing we know we want when I get a goal is I get points. So if I get a goal, score plus equals goal points. And tell you what, let's print out the score. And if we go off screen, then we lose points. So score plus equals miss points. Remember, miss points is negative. And we will print a corresponding message, a miss, score now, score. So let's see how that runs. I'll fire off a dart. Oh, it's a goal. And I got 100 points. Great. Let's do it again. Oh, I'm really doing great here. And there's a miss. And I just lost 50 points. So there we go. The game is running great. And that's really everything we need. Now, we can make this thing a lot fancier in a lot of ways. When the ball goes into the goal, we can have a more flashy visual graphics. When it goes off screen, we could have, some sort of a sad kind of graphics. We can, of course, make this all more interesting visually. So I'm going to run the game again, just to kind of play it a little bit, now that I have a running game. I seem to be doing okay. Oh man, I am too good at this. So I'm going to make it harder. I'm going to make the goal move much faster. I'll make the goal move twice as fast, from 4 to 8. I bet I'm not going to be nearly as good. Let's go ahead and run this again. And now that's interesting. If the goal is moving so fast, there's so much time for it to catch the dart that it looks like it's almost easier. So I'll tell you what, let's make them both faster. Tell you what, let's move the player character. I don't know why I chose 0.5 there, but let's make that 5.5. Okay, now everything is faster. Oh, I want to make the dart faster too. That'll really make things harder. Tell you what, let's make the dart almost twice as fast. And I got a goal and I missed and I'm, okay, well, I'm not as bad at this as I thought I would be. So this is a great little game. It only takes the keyboard and it's actually more fun than I really thought it would be. This is actually kind of cool. So it's really fun to start with something this simple because there are so many things you can do to this now to dress it up and make it a more interesting or fun game that really tickles your fancy.